Okay, let's go. Let's get this started. Okay, hello. Oh, hello, Cynthia. Thank you for checking in. Give me a sec as I move my VTuber around a bit. Okay, y'all. Today we're gonna be talking about, well, yeah, some rough news, kind of breaking news a little bit. But I'm going to do my best to speak of these things as coherently as possible. But first, let me say hello to everyone who's checked in and said hi on stream. Let me see. Hello, Zaya36. Congratulations on being number 1. Hello, Ali. Thank you for being number 2. You've checked in 13 times, Zaya? That's crazy. Hello, Cynthia, and thank you for being number 3. And yeah, my bad. I forgot to change the title on the Twitch side. So that's on me. Tama went quick mode today. I did. I really did. Hello, NHK. Thank you for checking in. 7 times. That's really insane. And same goes for Ali. 14 times. Let's see. Woo, let's go. Got this chat covered as well. Thank you for looking at the YouTube chat as well. Okay, so let's get started with it. Hello, my name is Tamashi, and all I gotta say is Tama Days. I'm a grumpy Latina VTuber who lives in Japan, and I'm a political commentator and variety streamer. I politically commentate, is that how you say that? On things twice a week, and on the rest of those days I do fun gaming stuff. But today we're going to be talking about the global summit flotillas. I'm basically gonna give you guys an update on that and you know, explain things to basically update y'all from last week up till 2 hours ago. Okay, this is like an ongoing story. As you can see here to my left, the flotillas are still going on. These flotilla boats are the ones that have not been captured by the IOF soldiers, aka Israel. And they're currently heading to Gaza. There has been news that they might be intercepted again. I don't know if some boats have already been intercepted or if they're going off course or not, but we're still looking at them. We're witnessing everything going on for them. Actually, I should share the YouTube link for y'all. It's the reason why they put these live videos up is so people can witness Israel's crimes. If anything bad happens to them, there will be witnesses all over the world. Did I start stream on my YouTube? I did. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I almost had a heart attack, chat. So yeah, those are the links right there. Definitely recommend subscribing to the channel and you know, keeping a watch on them. Last year I fucking witnessed all of them being kidnapped. It was terrible. I was freaking out. And I suppose this year might be the same thing. I hope not. I hope that at least there will be success in them going to Gaza and delivering a medical aid to Palestine. But we will see. We will see. Let's get to the first topic at hand. My bad. Let me look at my notes here. I don't know why this is on full screen. Discord has been very weird lately. Okay. Not only that, also OBS. OBS has been hella weird, chat. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so basically most of the flotilla activists and civilians that were captured last week, mostly of them have been already released, except for 2 people, which is Saif and Thiago. They're the only ones that have been detained and are currently not only being detained, but tortured by Israel, okay? They're currently being held in Israeli prisons, and we're going to talk about that. So first of all, let's talk about like who they are, okay? I'm going to give you guys a recap. For those who have been here since last year, you're going to remember who these people are, okay? Oh my god, I pressed the wrong tab here. Boop. Okay, so this is the official Global Summit Flotilla website. This is their about page. I'm going to read all of this, and then you guys will recognize the people that are currently being detained by Israel in Israeli prisons. So who we are, let me zoom in for you guys actually. Not on my face. Thank you. Thank you. Who we are a global movement of everyday people, organizers, humanitarians, doctors, students, union workers, and seafarers uniting across professions and continents to uphold the human dignity and international law that governments have failed to protect. Building on our inaugural mission in summer 2025, our spring 2026 action will be the largest coordinated civilian maritime effort for Palestine to date. I'm putting my mic closer to my face. 70 plus boats and over 1,000 participants from 70 plus countries. Emerging as a direct response to calls from Palestinians in Gaza, the Global Summit Flotilla remains grounded in Palestinian leadership and powered by grassroots movements worldwide. Our purpose is to transform these missions into durable political power and replicable model for global justice. We are an independent, international, and unaffiliated with any government. We assert that sovereignty over Palestinian land and water belongs solely to the Palestinian people. This movement is for the millions ready to demand accountability, confront complicity, and take direct action when institutions refuse to act. Okay, and then we're gonna scroll down here. Number 1 right here, Thiago Avila. Okay, this is one of the main coordinators of this mission. Let me zoom in out. Thiago Avila, he's a Freedom Flotilla Coalition, and he's from Brazil. For all the Brazilians out there, this is one of your people. Okay, Thiago Avila is a steering committee member of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition and was one of the coordinators on board the Medellin mission that was intercepted and kidnapped by the Zionist entity in June 2025. He was put in solitary confinement after exposing Israeli state crimes in front of a Zionist judge and starting a hunger and thirst strike until his deportation. This was last year. He is a communicator and a social environmentalist from Brazil who travels the world informing, educating, and mobilizing against exploitation, oppression, and the destruction of nature, especially in the global south. He is 38 years old, the proud father of 1.5-year-old daughter, and has dedicated himself to solidarity with Palestine for over 20 years. So he's been at this for 20 years, one of the main steering committee members of the Global Summit Flotilla mission. Number 2, right here, Saif Abukshik. I think I pronounced that better than I usually do, I hope. So he's part of the GMTG, Global Movement to Gaza. Saif Abukshik, a Palestinian activist based in Barcelona, has been organizing Palestinian solidarity across Europe for over 20 years. He was the lead organizer in the Global March to Gaza and currently chairs the Global Coalition Against the Occupation in Palestine and represents the intersyndical Alternative de Intersindical Alternativa de Cataluña, IAC. Sorry, I just realized halfway that was Spanish. He also sits on the board of European Trade Union Network for Justice in Palestine. Saif is also a proud father of 3 young children aged 2, 6, and 8. And these are the rest of the members here. Maria Elena Delia, Muhammad Nadir Al-Nouri, Wael Nawar, Marwan Ben Getaya, Maimon Hirawati, Sumeria Akdenis Ordu, Patrick Bosch, Patricia Luevano, Aziz Rali, Susan Abdallah, and those are the main, I guess we could say, leaders of the Global Summit Flotilla mission. Now, the ones that have been kidnapped, okay, and are currently in prison are Thiago Avila and Saif Abukshik, okay? So now we know who these people are. I've given you a rundown. You guys understand who they are to a certain extent. So let's talk about, first, before I get into what happened to them, right? Let's talk about what happened last year, okay, to the flotilla members who were captured and put in Israeli prisons last year, okay? This includes Greta Thunberg as well. And so we're gonna watch her testimony, speaking in her native language, which is Swedish, and there's gonna be translators translating what she's saying. But we're gonna hear her testimony. Let me turn off my música. Give me a sec. Boop, boop. Okay, and we're gonna hear Greta's testimony of what happened to her and other members during their capture last year.
I just got released from an Israeli torture prison in the desert. And honestly, I don't really know what to say, because no matter what we say, nothing is going to bite. Nothing is going to lead to action from our governments. Even though under international law, they have a legal obligation to act to prevent and stop genocide.
Climate activist Greta Thunberg has made serious allegations of torture and abuse during her 5 days in Israeli custody. In this video, we'll break down what she said, the details of her harrowing experience, Israel's response, and why her testimony has sent shockwaves across the world. Thunberg was part of a humanitarian flotilla sailing to deliver aid to Gaza when, as she claims, Israeli forces intercepted and seized the vessel in late August. She was detained for 5 days, a period she now describes as filled with physical abuse, humiliation, and fear. Speaking to the Swedish outlet Aftonbladet, Greta said detainees were packed into outdoor cages under the scorching sun, denied water, and repeatedly threatened with gassing. They held up a gas cylinder and said they'd use it on us, she recalled, describing the threat as standard throughout their captivity. She described seeing about 50 detainees forced to kneel with their hands tied and heads pressed to the ground, as guards took selfies with them, mocked them, and kicked anyone who moved. Thunberg said they were deprived of clean water for days, forced to drink from toilet sinks where, in her words, something brown flowed. Guards, she alleged, mocked detainees by drinking from bottles in front of them, and then tossing full bottles into trash bins. Even life-saving medicines, she said, were confiscated or thrown away. The Swedish activist recounted being insulted in both Hebrew and broken Swedish, called degrading names, wrapped in an Israeli flag, and told she had been given a special place for a special lady. She said far-right minister Itamar Ben-Gvir personally shouted at detainees, calling them terrorists and accusing them of wanting to kill Jewish babies. Thunberg further claimed she was moved to an isolation cell full of insects, forced to undress during searches, filmed, blindfolded, and transported in a freezing car cell at night. On the walls of her cell, she said, were bullet holes and bloodstains, alongside messages scratched by previous Palestinian prisoners. She reflected, "If I was treated this way as a white Swedish citizen, imagine what Palestinians face behind closed doors." Israel's foreign ministry has denied all allegations, calling the reports of mistreatment complete lies. Officials maintain that the flotilla violated the naval blockade on Gaza, an area under siege since Hamas's deadly October 2023 attack on Israel. The flotilla, Thunberg said, was a peaceful attempt to deliver humanitarian aid to a region still suffering under blockade. But her testimony has reignited global outrage over Israel's treatment of detainees, and sparked renewed scrutiny of Sweden's muted diplomatic response. As the controversy unfolds, Greta Thunberg's chilling account has become a flashpoint in the global debate over Israel's actions in Gaza, and the treatment of activists who stand in solidarity with Palestinians. For more on this developing story and the latest updates from around the world, subscribe to the Indian Express on YouTube.
So this was from 6 months ago, October 16th, where this specific video was posted. The thing is like, there has been more allegations ever since this specific description of what happened to them. Of course, people don't consider all of that stuff torture. They expect them. It seems like people expect Greta and everyone else to have bruises, visible bruises at least, or to, you know, I'm assuming they wanted them to be like severely injured. A lot of the torture that these prisons do is definitely psychological torture. And if they were held more, like longer than the time that they were held in these Israeli prisons, of course they would have more visible signs of torture. Not only that, it was also heard that a bunch of, like a group of female flotilla members were also sexually abused, and many other allegations that, you know, of course, Israel refuses to admit or investigate. And even worse, all of these people's own nations refuse to vouch for them, to protect them. They let Israel do whatever they want. It's been confirmed that Greece coordinated the most recent abduction. You guys saw me live react to the implication that Greece knew that Israel was going to kidnap these people, and they just let it happen. You know, I thought it was something out of nowhere, but they knew that there was going to be a storm. Israel knew that as well, and that's why they kidnapped the activists last week. Greece knew that as well. They knew there was a storm. They saw Israel coming in. They did nothing. Nothing. And again, as it was said last week, there's an orange line that Israel calls the orange line, where these people supposedly can't pass. They were 100 kilometers, like, what was it, kilometer? How do you say that? I'm American. Kilometers? No, that's not how you, is that how you say it? Kilometers? They were just super far away from the orange line. Don't quote me on that. But it was like over 1,000. Super far away from the orange meters. What? The orange line? My bad. I'm getting confused. And Israel traveled all the way to Greece waters, literally right next to Europe, and kidnapped everyone. Well, not everyone. They kidnapped like half of the people there. So let me reach out. I legit remember waking up to pretty much all the boats being captured. You mean last year or this year? Because there's still some boats heading over there right now, so you're probably talking about last year, though. The media she spoke to, Aftonbladet, is a very old and very influential daily paper, translated to the evening paper. Okay. Thank you for that fact. So we're also going to, from that same interview that we saw her just now, we're going to hear her testimony on on how she feels about the whole thing. Oh my god, I muted it.
Precis släppt från ett israeliskt tortyrfängelse i öken.
I just got released from an Israeli torture prison in the desert, and honestly, I don't really know what to say because no matter what we say, nothing is going to bite. Nothing is going to lead to action from our governments.
Finns det inget som biter? Det finns ingenting som leder till handling.
Even though under international law, they have a legal obligation to act to prevent and stop genocide.
Rättslig skyldighet att agera för att förhindra och stoppa folkmord. Det som hände var inte bara att Israel kidnappade oss och torterade oss.
What happened was not only that Israel kidnapped us and tortured us, but that above all, during an ongoing escalating genocide, in which Israel is openly trying to erase the entire Gaza Strip and the Palestinian people.
Och det palestinska folket, den palestinska nationen.
The Palestinian nation. Israel once again violated international law and prevented humanitarian aid, medicine, food, and water from reaching a starving population.
Från att komma in till en svältande befolkning.
But this has been said thousands of times already, and as I said, it doesn't bite.
Och som sagt, det biter inte.
Yeah. That's the thing, the frustration of like the complicity of every nation on earth letting this happen. It's not like Greta's the only one that's been tortured in these Israeli prisons. Everyone knew this was happening already, yet they let it happen to her. Sweden betrayed her. They didn't fucking care. And like she said, it has no bite. That's why it's up to us to speak out for the Palestinian people. We need more people to speak out. We need to threaten our governments who support this. Hello, Emil, by the way. Thank you for checking in. You've checked in 5 times. Gracias, gracias, gozaimasu. Now, this was from last year, okay? And I just wanted you guys to hear it from Greta. But now, let's fast forward to last week. Again, last week, you all know that a bunch of the flotilla civilians and activists were captured by Israel. Most of those people were released, except for 2 people, Thiago and Saif. Now, unfortunately, unsurprisingly, it's been confirmed that they are being tortured as well in these Israeli prisons. This is from Quad's News Network. It says, according to Adala and confirmed by the Embassy of Brazil in Israel, flotilla activists Thiago de Avila and Saif Abukishik, my bad, kidnapped by Israeli occupation naval forces in international waters on April 30th, have been beaten, blindfolded, held in stress positions, and interrogated by Shin Bet. De Avila lost consciousness twice and faces possible Mossad interrogation on terrorist suspicion. Why is he being suspected of being a terrorist? Well, because he's trying to feed children, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, civilians, anyone innocent that is Palestinian, okay? So Thiago and Saif both are on hunger strikes and are due in court on May 3rd. Okay, it's May 5th right now. Keep these dates in mind, chat, because it gets crazier. So let's have a more description of what happened to Thiago, okay? Which this is him. The Brazil embassy confirms that he's being tortured. But let's hear a description. Let's get more details of that. I'm going to be reading the captions, by the way, for those who are listening to this stream. Who are listening and not like looking at the screen. So this is by Thiago Gulirme. I don't know how to pronounce names in Portuguese, but he's He's a specialist in Mestrando Psicología Social. He's autistic. Okay, wait, no, he's more than that. Sorry. My bad. I'm pretty sure he's Brazilian. That's why I'm like, I can somewhat understand that he's more than that. He's an activist. I think that's what it says. It looks like abogado, but I don't think that means lawyer. I think it means advocate. Activist. He's a specialist in human rights, derechos humanos. I think that means human rights. Like it's close to Spanish, but I think he speaks Portuguese. But this is translated from Portuguese. So this is all in Portuguese. I saw his post, and that's how I found out that Thiago was being tortured. And then, of course, I found out that Saif as well was being tortured in Israeli prisons. And I was just freaking out because it sounded like they were beating them. So it says, urgent. Israel is trying to assassinate Thiago Avila in prison. The torture is at such an absurd level that he is almost blind and was beaten until he passed out twice. Share. What are you going to do at Lula Oficial? And I'm assuming this is like the president or something. Yep. Presidente right there. The president of Brazil. But let's hear what this person has to say. She's speaking, I'm assuming, in Portuguese, which makes sense. I wonder if I can zoom out or in. Is it better in the middle? Man, I honestly hate what Twitter has become. What did I do? Okay, I think this is better though. I just hate that it's not in the middle. But let's hear what she has to say. I feel like it's important to hear everyone's testimonies, no matter what country they are from, because yeah, this affects everyone, especially Brazilians. One of your people is getting tortured, okay? So let's hear what she has to say, and I will read what she has to say, okay? Tell me if it's a bit too loud or not. Let me turn it down a bit. So I'll try to read as fast as I can, okay, chat? Temporarily blind. That's how Thiago got after the torture of the Israelis. The lawyer had contact with him, said he got his face all busted and is being tortured in prison. I think I want to be slightly louder than her. Give me a sec. That is what's happening to a Brazilian now. And we don't have a demonstration by the president. Lula at this time is a Brazilian who is working to end apartheid, who is trying to deliver humanitarian aid. They are doing it because they know that Thiago is the face, is the person who managed to bring back the flotillas. And I'm not afraid to say it. He was so tortured that he passed out after torture twice. They tried, destroyed Thiago's reputation to justify all this violence. You know, he went through smear campaigns, very serious here on the internet before our mission left. And this smear campaign had support and work from a lot of people. I saw that too. Who says that it's on our side, and you are also to blame in what's happening with Thiago right now. It's everyone's duty. Don't leave Thiago alone. And they left when he was alone, trying to defend himself against the defamations that people here, they did and continue to do, and help the Israelis, trying to justify this barbarity, this torture they're doing with a humanitarian activist. We demand Thiago's freedom immediately. We demand Saif's freedom. Immediately. What they are doing with Thiago, do much worse with Palestinian prisoners. They do much worse. This is happening with Thiago is because he dared to be supportive to the Palestinian people, to the people who are in the front lines facing the cruelest, inhumane, today's army that kills children, targets children in the head and kills for fun. Yeah, they do that. And then comes to spend a vacation in our country. And here they attack our people, as what happened to Thiago. Ah, shit, that was so fast. Spend vacation in our country. They attack our people, as what happened in Bahia. They act this way and continue to increase its violence because they stay unpunished for the crimes they commit against humanity. And only those who can stop it are us, the united people, because people in power are accomplices. The presidents of our countries are accomplices. All people, the UN is an accomplice. As Thiago always says, they can have the money, they can have the power, but we have everything else. We have every person in the world. We have boats, we have people, and that's why they're doing it and intercepting us before we reach the so-called war zone. There is no longer a war zone. The whole world is at war. They said the Mediterranean is theirs, so they can act this way. Just like they say Bahia is theirs, just like they say Costa Rica is theirs, that Indonesia is theirs, the whole world is at risk, while this apartheid regime and Zionists continue to exist and mistreating everyone. Not only the Palestinians are resisting around the world. The future of Gaza is the future of the whole world. We need to get up now. Because if this is happening in Europe, imagine what will happen to the people from the global south. They can't intercept all of our boats. So they acted prematurely in impunity and making them act more and more in a more cruel way. Only we can stop this. So please talk about what is happening in Palestine. Demand Thiago's release. Demand an end to torture. Thiago and Saif and all Palestinian prisoners. We have more than 400 children in Israeli prisons and dungeons. What kind of world is this? What kind of human being? We are the ones who allow this to happen. Thiago does not allow this to happen, and we won't leave him alone. That's why they fear him. That's why, because he knows that Thiago is collective, all of us. He's just a little ant of this great ant hill that will change the world. Please be there, engaged, and fight for a free Palestine and for a free world. Wow, that was powerful. That was powerful. That really was powerful. Jesus Christ. And she's right. She's right, chat. That's why, I mean, it's gonna affect all of us. It's gonna affect all of us, especially the global south. Fucking hell, look at how much the US has spent money to demonize Cuba. Because they tried to be a sovereign nation. Look at them now. They almost succeeded in becoming sovereign. They succeeded in beating up the US. But now the US is doing everything in its power to not let them succeed as a nation. And of course, Israel sees that and just decides to commit genocide everywhere they wish to do so, with the help of other Middle Eastern nations that aren't attacking Israel right now, that are making business with Israel. but most especially the other countries that are part of NATO, that are supposedly first world countries, especially the United States of America, are funding for all of this. All for oil, all for power, land, all of it. And so now they kidnap Thiago and Saif, those who were able to mobilize everyone onto these flotilla boats, and they're torturing them? Are we going to allow them to torture them? When is it gonna matter? When is it gonna matter? This affects all of us. And we can't be quiet. We can't. It was pretty fucking disappointing to see Sweden abandon Greta. Are we also going to let Brazil, Spain, more of all the countries complicit in this, abandon these two people? I hope not, chat. She spits so many facts. Yes, of course. Of course she was spitting facts. Of course she was. It's because she cares. So this is what the Global Summit Flotilla has to say about all of this. Let me exit all of this. Okay, so this is a Global Summit Flotilla's Twitter account. There we go. He zoomed in for you guys. They say Thiago Avila was abducted on April 30th, tortured by the IOF aboard an Israeli military vessel in Greek waters, okay? And then forcibly transferred to Shikma prison in Ascalon, occupied Palestine. He continues to be held hostage by the colonial regime. A tireless activist who has fought for indigenous rights globally. This is Thiago Avila. He's an activist, father, and husband. Thiago Avila is a Brazilian internationalist and a social environmentalist known for his principled and unshakable commitment to indigenous rights. A prominent member of the Global Summit Flotilla Steering Committee. He has dedicated 2 decades to educating and organizing for anti-colonial and anti-imperialist causes. Thiago's activism is guided by the concept of ben vivir, or living in harmony with nature and community. As a lifelong philosophical anchor, he has traveled the world informing and mobilizing people against the exploitation, oppression, and destruction of nature, and the genocide and displacement of indigenous people. In his community and across Brazil, Thiago has worked with climate justice, land, and housing rights movements. His unwavering focus and tireless commitment have made him an instrumental force in the organization of solidarity missions to countries including Cuba, Venezuela, Lebanon, and Gaza, making him a primary target of the occupier. Who has been bombed and attacked? Cuba. By who? The US. Who has been bombed and attacked and had their leader kidnapped? Venezuela. By who? The US. Okay. Who in 10 minutes, within 10 minutes, 100 strikes, had one of their biggest cities be bombed that ended up killing a bunch of civilians, mostly children, including a VTuber's family in the Middle East. What country has suffered? Lebanon. By who? Israel. Who is Israel supported by? The US. The entire nation and entire country almost flattened, where daily civilians are being killed, decapitated, have their limbs detached from their bodies, having children fucking being afraid of holding a toy because it might be rigged with a bomb, and is currently facing the biggest genocide that history has ever seen, bigger than the Holocaust, Palestine and Gaza. And who is doing that? Israel. And who is helping Israel? Not only the United States, mainly the United States, of course, but the whole fucking world by doing nothing, okay? And this is why right now, Thiago and Saif have been abducted by the third time by the IOF in international waters while peacefully participating in a flotilla mission to break the illegal siege in Gaza. We call for an urgent intervention from the Brazilian government to secure his safe release, and of course the safe release of Saif as well. Okay? That is from the Global Summit Flotilla. Now, let's hear Thiago's wife. Okay? Because yes, of course he has a family and a wife and children. And let's see what she has to say. I will be reading the captions. Thiago Avila's wife explains that Israel has not presented any proof of the terrorism accusations. Thiago and Saif are detained solely because Israel considers it justifiable for interrogations, kidnapped in international waters, and detained without formal charges. They are basically hostages, okay? Not basically, they are hostages. God fucking damn it. Let's read what she has to say. Okay. A ver. What happens if I full screen this? Oh, my entire screen is okay. I just hate how this is not in the middle. Why wouldn't they make this in the middle? Why wouldn't it automatically be in the middle? Ugh, I'm so sorry, chat. But of course, I'm assuming she's speaking Portuguese because her and Thiago are from Brazil. Okay. Let me zoom in. Hopefully that just makes it way too big. Okay, chat. I'll do my best to read this. I'll zoom in for you guys. F2. Okay, let's do this, chat. Thiago and Saif updates as of May 3rd, okay? Thiago had a hearing today, and his detention has been extended by 2 days until a new hearing on Tuesday. The Brazilian embassy and the lawyer responsible for the case informed me that 5 allegations were presented which were not formalized as charges but listed as suspicions, which according to the lawyer did have no basis of evidence presented to justify these accusations. I am doing my best to read this as fast as possible. This means Thiago is under arrest indefinitely to be questioned by the Israeli intelligence as long as the country allows it, believes it is justifiable. The accusations presented are related to a supposed association with terrorism and collaboration with the enemy in wartime. Thiago is a humanitarian activist who for years has fought alongside Palestinians and for their liberation. He is not and never has been part of a terrorist group. A humanitarian organizing humanitarian aid, humanitarian actions is not collaborating with the enemy in wartime. It is the right of a people who are suffering a genocide for many years. The lawyer made a request for him to speak with family, and the judge denied that. So I still have no direct contact with Thiago. Today we saw several photos released by the Israeli press, and we don't know his real physical situation. We need to mobilize for Thiago's freedom immediately. We need the Brazilian government to demand the release of its citizen who was abducted in international waters and is being held in detention without any formal charges against him. We need to demand the Israeli government be held accountable for all violations it is committing, and we will continue to fight for a free Palestine. Whew. And that was Thiago's wife, okay? So of course, they refused to let Thiago speak with his family, including his wife. And of course, unsurprisingly, they have no evidence or basis of this terrorism that they're claiming that Thiago has participated in. Why? Because they're lying. Simple as that. Like she said, like Thiago's wife said, mobilizing and encouraging people to participate in humanitarian aid and activism is not terrorism. It's actually the right of the people. And yeah, we need to demand accountability from our governments who are kidnapping our civilians from around the world, and actually hold Israel responsible. Now let's hear about Abu, okay? And this is what his lawyer has to say. Abu is the Spanish national who is from Spain and is also Palestinian, who is also one of the leaders of the Global Summit Flotilla mission. He is also a captive and is being tortured in Israeli prisons. And this is his lawyer. Let's see what she has to say. Lawyer Hadil Abu Saleh from Adala English, outside of the hearing of the arrest extension of the flotilla activist Saif Abu Keshik and Thiago de Avila in the Israeli court. Her name is also Abu Saif. Well, not Saif, but Saif's name is Saif Abu Keshik, and her name is Hadil Abu Saleh. Okay. Let's see what she has to say. I wonder if this is translated, however. Let me see. I can't hear her. I can't hear her. Intercepted and abducted at the coast of Greece in international waters today. Shabak. They asked for an extension of the arrest after a day of interrogation. It's important to know that both of them were subjected to torture since the moment they were abducted. They were kept handcuffed and blindfolded. And they were moved to Israeli prison. In the court hearing, Shabak claimed, and they are accusing them of being part of a terrorist organization, and that they're an enemy during wartime. Oh my God. Okay. The court hearing, we argued that Israel has no jurisdiction And that the activists were part of a humanitarian mission to send humanitarian to Gaza and to help civilians in Gaza, not to participate in any other organization. Oh, now the mic works? Okay. Wait. And so the court basically extended their detention in prison. Arrested them for an additional 2 days. God, this fucking mic, bro. I'm sorry, Chubb, but when mics don't work, I get a little triggered. I had hope that that we could hear what she had to say. But no, yeah, basically they extended their detention for another 2 days, and that is as of May 3rd, right? Oh shit, I have to go get my phone. I got my phone, my bad, shut. My bad, I got my phone. Okay. Which is unfair because, again, they have no legal basis to do so. They're just claiming that these two people are terrorists and they were participating in a terror organization, which is, again, not accurate at all. But let's hear what Saif's wife has to say, and I hope the mic works this time. And I'm assuming she's gonna be speaking in Spanish. Because they live in Spain, but we'll see. This is again from the Quads News Network. It says the wife of the Global Summit Flotilla activist Saif Aboushik, who was abducted by Israeli forces from international waters, urgently calls for people to mobilize and do all what they can to pressure the Spanish, Swedish, Greek, and Italian embassies to secure her husband's release and his comrades. She said that her husband Saif just spent his daughter's birthday in Israeli custody after being illegally abducted off Greece along with 179 other flotilla participants, tortured in solitary confinement, and then transferred along with fellow activist Thiago Avila to prison in occupied Palestine.
As you know, my husband...
Oh no, she's speaking in English. Okay. Okay, let me see. That's pretty loud for me. Her mic is working, chat. Let me tell ya, her mic is working. Since she's speaking in English, I'm gonna zoom into her so you guys can better be able to understand what she's saying. Not understand, but like read the captions. And I hope it can be in the middle a bit more here. It's just it's too huge. Fuck. Why is this website ass? And there we go. Let's hear what she has to say.
Saif and his comrade Thiago Avila are now in Israel against their will.
Salisa.
The interception of the flotilla that was made by the Israelis on international water outside of Greece was illegal by all means and violating all international laws. My husband Saif Aboushik was on board the observer boat and had not the intention to sail the whole way to Gaza. He was going to do the support for the flotilla on land. The Spanish and the Swedish consulate, they have been in contact with Saif and they have told us that he was in a...
Wait, he wasn't supposed to go to Gaza? So they still kidnapped him? Did I hear that right, chat?
Kishik was on board the observer boat.
The
and
observer
had not
boat.
the intention to sail the whole way to Gaza. He was going to do the support for the flotilla on land. The Spanish and the Swedish consulate, they have been in contact with Saif, and they have told us that he was in a solitary cell on the boat. He is in a shock, and he is very sad because he missed our daughter's birthday yesterday. He couldn't speak with her or congratulate her. He is now on a hunger strike together with Thiago. And it's very important to mobilize now to get Saif and Thiago free. It's very important to pressure our governments. It's very important to do all actions that we can to mobilize, to protest in front of the embassies, in the streets, in front of the embassy, the Swedish ones, the Spanish ones, the Italian, the Greek one. All of them are complicit. Keep talking about the flotilla, keep talking about Saif and Thiago, keep talking about Palestine.
So her husband wasn't even, he was there as support. He was there as support to help navigate the boats. I'm assuming then that I'm assuming here, but the reason why they were heading towards Greece was because there was a big storm coming. I'm assuming that Saif was supposed to get off in Greek territory or something, and but that's when Greek and Israel coordinated together to kidnap these people during a huge storm. So that's insane. I didn't even know that. I didn't even fucking know that. He was just trying to help. I'm assuming because of his daughter's birthday, I'm assuming he was probably going to help them to a certain extent before leaving the waters, international waters near Europe, and then going back home just in time to celebrate his daughter's birthday, I'm assuming. But they still kidnapped him anyway. And they didn't release him alongside of the other activists. So they're illegally detaining him right now. So let's hear what Global Summit has to say about Saif. They say, Saif Abu Kishik was abducted on April 30th, tortured by the IOF aboard an Israeli military vessel in Greek waters, and then forcibly transferred to Shikma prison in Ascalon, occupied Palestine. He continues to be held hostage by the colonial regime, targeted for simply standing up for the liberation of his own people. Saif, again, guys, Saif is Palestinian, okay? Saif is a father, husband, and a major figure in the diaspora in Catalonia where he lives. He is known for his devotion to peaceful activism, international solidarity, and the rights of all Palestinian people. We cannot wait to act. Free Saif, Thiago, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, Marwan Barghouti, and all Palestinian hostages still being held in Israeli torture camps and prisons. Who is Saif Abu Kishik? His powerful and peaceful advocacy has made him a target. This is him. This is not a trip, nor is it tourism. At the same time, none of these risks is comparable, not even a fraction, to what Palestinians have faced every day since 1948. That is a direct quote from himself. I'm assuming the first time he decided to set sail towards Palestine. Activist Saif Abu Kishik, a Spanish-Swedish citizen of Palestinian origin. He's also fucking hell. What the fuck? I haven't heard shit from Sweden. Fuck you, Sweden. What the fuck? Swedish, all the Swedish is here. Sweden, Swedish people, what the fuck is your problem? They're torturing your guy? Hello? I haven't heard shit from Sweden other from Greta. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I didn't even know. People keep saying he's a Spanish Palestinian. This is the first time it's been disclosed that he's also fucking Swedish. What the fuck? And it's because I haven't heard anything from the Sweden side. What the hell? This is how I find out? Activist Saif Abu Kashik, a Spanish-Swedish citizen of Palestinian origin, is a father, husband, and a prominent member of our Global Summit Flotilla Steering Committee. Okay, he steers the boats, I suppose. He is known for his peaceful activism, his long experience in international solidarity, and his commitment to the rights of the Palestinian people. Born in a refugee camp in Nablus, the West Bank, Abu Kashik's parents were tortured while in Israeli captivity. A major figure in the diaspora in Catalonia, his activism is driven by the desire to alleviate the suffering of his people and rooted in the long global history of anti-colonial struggle and international law. Our comrade's ability to unite people across movements, religions, and borders is precisely why he has been targeted by the Zionist entity. Just as it has held captive Palestinian leader Marwan Barghouti for over 24 years, Israel responds with cruelty and intimidation to keep our resistance in chains. It won't. Spain's Foreign Minister José Manuel Álvarez has publicly rejected Israel's false accusations of terrorism and has demanded his immediate release. Okay, at least Spain is doing something. We call for concrete and immediate steps to be taken to secure his safety and freedom. Free Saif. Free Saif. And free Thiago, chat. We gotta make sure they don't kill him. Okay? Especially Saif, because he's Palestinian. His parents have gone through shit. And now he's going through this. When will the Palestinian people be free from this mental torture, generational torture? It is not fair. And it is also not fair that, Spain here is actually asking for his release. We need Sweden as well to ask for his release. We need Brazil to also ask for his release. And Greece, because they caused this, they coordinated this with Israel. We gotta. This is all on Europe right now. Of course, the U.S. won't do shit, and of course, we should demand the U.S. to stop ruining everything and supporting Israel. Of course, but this should be a bit more personal to y'all who live in Europe, because this happened outside your fucking window. And also to Latin Americans out there, this is happening to a Brazilian. What do you expect? They dropped support to Greta when they knew she was pro-Palestine. I know, but this should bring more outrage, okay? We should fucking... It's because we're letting our governments do all this BS and shit. Okay, we gotta be more annoying about it. We just gotta, we can't be quiet about this. We cannot allow this to happen. Because our governments won't do shit. That's why, like, Thiago's, like, well, everyone that we've seen in in these videos, you know, it's up to the people now. It's up to us. Now, we heard that as of May 3rd, right, they were going to extend 2 days of these two persons' illegal detention in Israeli prison, right? And I think this is them, you know, after being kidnapped and tortured for a bit. These are pictures of them, and this is where that was released of them, of the Israeli courts approving an extra 2 days of detention. Illegal detention, by the way. It says right here, an Israeli court has approved a 2-day extension to the detention of 2 foreign activists from a captured vessel in the Gaza-bound humanitarian flotilla who were brought to Israel for questioning. And let's look at Thiago right here. Obviously, he looks tired, exhausted. He's still protesting. He's still calling for peace. Look, he's pointing at his hand. His hand is that's the worldwide sign for peace, okay? He's still calling for peace, even though he's being fucking tortured, bruh. Even though he's being fucking tortured right now. Look how exhausted he looks. Let me zoom in for y'all. It's not looking good, chat. And they do all kinds of torture, especially psychological one. Next. This is Saif. There he is, alongside of fucking war criminals. And same goes for Thiago. These are the most recent pictures release of them. And this is as of, again, May 3rd, 8 p.m. Japan time. Let's see here. This is an explanation from the Middle East Eye of this extra 2-day extension for a court hearing. Let's see what Middle East Eye has to say. Give me a sec. An Israeli court extended the detention of 2 activists from a Gaza flotilla who were brought to Israel for questioning. Spanish Saif Abu Kishik and Brazilian Thiago Avila were arrested after Israeli forces illegally intercepted their boats in international waters. And this is Ashkelon, Israel. Again, this is kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in for y'all. Let's see. And I'm going to read this out loud for you guys as well. I wonder if I can look at this on YouTube. It's fine. Let's read this. 2 activists from a Gaza flotilla appeared before an Israeli court on Sunday, which was, what day is it today? It's Tuesday. So for me, it's Tuesday. So 3 to 4 days ago, right? Play. Days after their boat was intercepted by Israeli forces in Greece waters upon a request by Israeli authorities, the court extended the activists' detention by 2 days for interrogation.
In the court hearing, the Shabak claimed that they are accusing them of being affiliated with a terrorist organization, of helping enemy during wartime, and giving services to a terrorist organization. In the court hearing, we argued that Israel has no extraterritorial jurisdiction in these offenses, and in addition that they were part of a humanitarian mission that aimed to provide humanitarian aid to the civilians in Gaza and not to any other organization, whether terrorist or not.
Their vessels was among more than 50 to be illegally intercepted in international waters more than 1,000 kilometers from the Gaza Strip. To be illegally stopped by Israeli forces, my bad. Their vessel was among more than 50 to be illegally stopped by Israeli forces in international waters more than 1,000 kilometers away from the Gaza Strip. Okay, so I got that right. I remembered that right. Out of the 175 activists from the flotilla were taken to Israel for questioning. Brasilia, Thiago Avila, and Spanish national Saif Abu Kashik. The activists said they were treated with extreme brutality by Israeli forces, with Avila saying he was beaten so severely that he passed out twice. Israel says that the two affiliated with the Popular Conference for Palestinians Abroad, an organization that was subject to U.S. what? Sanctions? U.S. Treasury sanctions? Okay. The government of Spain and Brazil issued a joint statement on Friday calling their detention by Israel illegal. Okay, Brazil is doing something. Okay, I see. So far, Spain, from what we've seen, Spain and Brazil is at least criticizing Israel. I know Spain is asking for the release. I don't know if Brazil is asking for the release, but we need more pressure. This time we were able to hear Saif's lawyer with an actual good fucking mic. Thank God. I was really disappointed in the previous video that we couldn't at all hear what she was saying. But at least this time we were able to hear what she was saying. Again, there's no legal basis. Israel doesn't even have jurisdiction to decide anything, yet they're deciding a lot of shit right now. Now, this is an update from 22 hours ago, chat. 22 hours ago. Let's just basically call it 24 hours ago. So basically yesterday, okay? Yesterday around this same time, this is an update. This is from the drop site news, okay? It says right here, let me zoom in for y'all actually, so you guys can also read this alongside me. And this is a long read, so I'm going to turn on the music for a bit, okay? So, my bad. F2, there we go. Okay, this is from Drop Site News that says, new flotilla activists face death threats, chat. Sleep deprivation on 6th day of hunger strike. So it's been 6 days since they've been illegally detained and tortured, and it's the 6th day of their hunger strike, chat. They're protesting their detention and their illegal occupation in Palestine. Attorneys from Adalah, the Palestinian legal rights organization, visited Thiago Avila and Saif Abu Kashik at Shikma detention facility in Israel on Monday and report escalating psychological abuse and threats. Thiago reported being subjected to interrogations lasting up to 8 hours, chat, during which interrogators told him he would either be killed or spend 100 years in jail. Both men are held in total isolation with cells kept under constant high-intensity lighting around the clock, a practice Adalah says is designed to induce sleep deprivation and sensory disorientation. Thiago also reported being held in extremely cold temperatures. Both are blindfolded whenever moved outside their cells, including during medical examinations, which Adalah called a gross violation of medical ethical standards. Both activists have now entered their 6th day of hunger strike, consuming only water, in protest of their unlawful abduction by Israeli Navy in international waters on April 30th. Adala noticed that interrogations focused heavily on the flotilla itself, which confirms that the detention is an attempt to criminalize humanitarian aid and solidarity. Okay? So, Saif and Thiago have been taken hostage by the IOF after the remaining captive participants were released in Crete. So all the other activists that were captured were released in Crete, Greece. And now they're torturing these two people psychologically. So what are the risks, chat? Well, they're trying to legalize criminalizing humanitarian aid in Palestine, this time legally. Of course, usually Israel just kills people who dares to do this. They've done it many times before. They've killed many people from around the world who were providing humanitarian aid to Palestinians on the ground, which has forced many organizations, including Doctors Without Borders, World's Kitchen, I'm assuming even the PCRF, to forcibly get out of Palestine because they were just killing all of the doctors, all of the volunteers, all of the cooks, all of the nurses from other international countries, right? Who are trying to help these Palestinians. Of course, many people still try to go there and help, but Israel has already killed people trying to help Palestinians, right? They've already done that. The thing is, it's in Palestine with not much coverage, right? They continue to kill a bunch of journalists in Palestine and outside of Palestine. This time it's different, chat. This time it's different. It's the whole world participating at the same time, with at least one activist from each country around the world. Okay, at least. Okay? At least. And, you know, they're trying to now make it legal to torture and criminalize people who are trying to provide humanitarian aid in Palestine. Okay? This is now like a legal court thing. They're trying to legalize torturing these people. Thank you, Relu, for lurking. They're trying to legalize it now through official means. They're not just killing them, they're also trying to make it legal in their fucked up justice system. So the risk of this is here. This is what the risk is, chat. And I opened it on the wrong tab. My bad. Here we go. So this is from Andalo English. Haven't heard of them before, but I feel like this was a good summary of what could happen. And this was as of May 5th at 1 a.m. Japan time. It says, breaking news. Global Summit Flotilla activists Thiago Avila and Saif Abu Kishik face psychological torture, threats of death, or 100-year imprisonment in Israeli prisons. Adala Rights Center. That's where they are. The thing is like, they can legally kill these people now. At least they're trying to do that. They're trying to legally kill these two activists. Peaceful activists, by the way. By having them be in an illegal court hearing for a crime that they didn't even commit. while also simultaneously torturing them. The worst case scenario, they're gonna kill them legally, and it's gonna be legal now to kill people internationally, not just Palestinians. It's already illegal to kill Palestinians, by the way. They made that legal a couple months ago. That's why a lot of people are freaking out right now, especially in Palestine. And they're calling for us to demand Israel not kill their prisoners. But once they put someone in prison, they're not just gonna torture them anymore. Now they can legally kill them. Okay, now they're trying to do that with people outside of Israel, outside of Palestine. All this time they've been illegally killing people, but now they're trying to make it legal. Okay, they're trying to make it legal and normalize that. That way, if, you know, a country has and is not happy with what Israel has done to one of their citizens, Israel can just be like, well, it's the law, man. We're just following our law that says we can kill anyone we want as long as they help the Palestinian people. And then, you know, fucking cuck nations are gonna be like, oh, true, okay, I guess it's illegal. No! We can't allow them to do that, chat. We can't allow them to do that. Now, this is, again, Thiago, I'm assuming expecting the worst, chat, has sent a letter to his daughter. A lot of you people who've been watching TamaTalks for a while have seen me read a bunch of final words from Palestinians who were slain by Israel, killed by Israel. They are prepared to die and usually leave, you know, a letter to their loved ones and to those who are witnessing Israel's crimes. Now, it concerns me that even Thiago is writing a letter to his daughter. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it. Okay, you guys are gonna hear me read it. This is a thread by Al Jazeera English. It says, Brazilian volunteer Thiago Avila from a Gaza-bound humanitarian aid flotilla sends a letter to his daughter from Shikma prison in Ashkelon after being abducted by Israeli authorities. Abducted Gaza Aid Flotilla volunteer Thiago Avila sent a letter to his daughter from Israeli prison. Okay, let me turn off the music here. It's too goofy right now. So, we're gonna read this. I should zoom in for you guys to see. Okay, aquí está. Okay, chat. We're gonna read this. Dear Teresa, I'm sorry for not being home with you right now. Unfortunately, your father, your mother, and so many people around the world understood the historical task that we have the responsibility to fulfill. Today, over 1 million children are suffering a genocide, being starved to death, being amputated without anesthesia, and suffering from horrific, hateful ideas despite not knowing what Zionism and imperialism is. I'm sure you miss me too much. And all the mothers and fathers of Palestinian children also miss them so much and would give anything to live a life of love, happiness, and joy that every human being deserves independently of race, religion, ethnicity, or any other characteristic. Your world will be safer because many parents decided to give everything to build this better world for you. I hope someday you understand that because I love you so much, there was nothing more dangerous for you and for other children than living in a world that accepts genocide. Please remember your father as the person that would sing to you and play the guitar for you to sleep. And when you grow up, your mom will also tell you that your father was a revolutionary And that even when facing the most horrific people alive, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Itamar Ben-Gvir, he stood firm to the belief of building a better world. Please do not forget Palestine. With all my love, Thiago Avila. Chat, I understand why he's writing this, but I don't like, it sounds like it's his final words, chat. And that's because we must expect that he might be killed. That is a very high possibility. But the thing is, we cannot allow this letter be his final words to his daughter. We cannot allow that. That's why it's important for you guys to speak up and to force your governments to get their fucking citizens back. Are we gonna let him be killed? Are we gonna let his daughter be fatherless because Donald Trump, Netanyahu, Ben-Gvir, and everyone else who isn't speaking about this let this man die? And he's still holding the fucking peace sign, by the way. He's still advocating for peace in any way or form. Makes me tear up. Fuck these corrupt old men, dude. But also fuck not only the corrupt and those obviously responsible and aiding in this and fucking paying for this, of course. But we cannot, like, literally, chat, if no one is talking about this, they are complicit. If no one is learning about this, if no one is keeping eye on them, not only on them, most importantly, the Palestinian people, you are also partly to blame. Silence is complicity. I don't fucking care if you think I'm an annoying political loser who ruins the vibe. But you gotta be fucking responsible for your inaction. Inaction, chat. Not only by not only do you need to take responsibility for your fucking actions, but you also gotta take responsibility for your inaction. It sucks. Isn't it odd how Elon says we don't need money in the future, but he wants 10 trillion for himself? Elon Musk is an idiot. Clearly. But I mean, right now I'm talking about something else. Right now I'm talking about, you know, these political prisoners that are possibly gonna die. The inaction that is unacceptable is not talking about this, not spreading the word, not learning about it, and also fucking, to the very least, not boycotting the main companies that need to be boycotted. I'm not asking you guys to boycott every little thing in your life, because of course that's impossible. Okay, Nvidia works directly with Israel. Google works directly with Israel. My iPhone works directly with Israel. But with what you can boycott, you should, okay? That's the easiest way as well to support the Palestinian people. Donate to charity. Most importantly, though, organize with people who think like you and protest this shit and demand your governments to do more. Do at least the bare minimum. That's what I'm asking for. Not even me, but the Palestinian people and also Thiago. We cannot, Thiago and Saif, we cannot let both of those people be legally killed under Israel's illegal detention. Okay? I don't like that this letter sounds like his last words. I don't like that. And because we don't like it, I'm assuming you and me don't like it. Because we don't like that, we cannot allow this to be his final words, okay? We cannot. Now, of course, this hasn't stopped the flotillas that weren't detained, that weren't illegally captured. Like I was showing you guys from the beginning of this stream, they're still going, man. They're still going. Right here. They're still going. They said, we're not giving up. We're going to Palestine. We're going to go over there and deliver humanitarian aid to the Palestinian people. Okay? But they are at risk of another interception. Like a few 10 hours ago, I heard that some of the boats were at risk of being detained. This was from a couple of hours ago, around 5 p.m. today. Well, it's not the 6 for me anymore, but what was that, like 8 hours ago? Breaking news: 4 Freedom Flotilla vessels on high alert. Voices from Perseverance. Actually, isn't that the boat here? This is the Perseverance boat, chat. That one right there on the bottom left is Perseverance. Let's see what it says here. It says, breaking 4 Freedom Flotilla vessels on high alert. Voices from Perseverance. Last night, we got news that the 4 Freedom Flotilla boats headed to Gaza had been overflown by a helicopter. That was the noise we just heard, was the fucking helicopter. Oh, helicopter drones, and had spotted military vessels nearby. As you can see, that's a vessel right there. They prepared to be boarded and went through the drills they had practiced for this event through the night. The participants on board all 4 boats remained on alert while getting some rest. We need your support now than ever. Those sailing on the Perseverance are now over 2 days into their mission. They're tired, seasick, and apprehensive, but they persevere and their spirits remain high. In defiance of the recent IOF brutality against the Global Summit Flotilla, our participants remain dedicated to sailing to Gaza. Before this alert, we were preparing statements to introduce some of the participants from the Perseverance, which is this boat on the bottom left. Canada has taken this position of peacemaker internationally. But really, Canada has been selling weapons to the United States that are used against Palestinians. Palestinians demand autonomy and agency over their lives and future, which is made impossible by the ongoing genocide that is supported by Western powers. That is by Grace Matheson. She is from Canada. Canadians in the chat, hello, or whoever's watching this on YouTube. This is Daniela Bonamico. She says, because we will never stop trying anything and everything, we will never stop. May every person on this earth rise up in every single way they can. May your courage and hope always be stronger than your fear. Yes, she's right. This is by Norad Bosid. They are bloodying our hands by participating in this genocide. I'm assuming he's talking about his government. We need to get out into the streets. We need to put our bodies on the line. Those of us with the privilege to do so. When we say none of us are free until all of us are free, this is exactly what we mean. Helen O'Sullivan says, the Australian government is not only joining hands with Israel in this genocide, but they are supplying weapon parts and military intel for the war machine. We know that this information and these parts are being used to kill civilians. There's no excuse now. We know what's happening. We must do something. Silence in the face of oppression means standing with the oppressor. Silence is complicity. Violet Coco says, as sick as we may be feeling, there are people in Palestine who have no access to medications or clean water and care. It is important for us to acknowledge that what we're doing is just the tip of the iceberg compared to what Palestinians do every day, and we're inspired by their courage and strength. Whether this mission continues towards Gaza or is cut short by an IOF raid, we ask that you keep your eyes on deck and on Palestine. Keep our participants and our stories in mind, and Palestine as our compass. Demand that our governments cut all military ties to Israel and they act on their legal obligation to stop the genocide and the legal blockade of Gaza. Okay? It seems that Perseverance is still sailing and is safe. I'm assuming. Let me look at chat actually. Support and share blockade. Here, scroll down to find our phenomenon. Okay. My comments about solidarity keeps getting deleted. Okay, no. There's no... Usually there's like an update in chat, but I'm assuming they're okay, chat. If it's still showing on here, I'm assuming they're okay. It's still moving, although it's lagging. There's Adala right here. Although Perseverance doesn't... Oh my goodness.
Zaya 36 just donated $50 to Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights.
Thank you, Saya 36, for donating $50 to Churla, which is helping immigrants from the US have basic rights. Thank you so much. Did we complete it? Did you complete the donation goal? Let me check here. My bad. Yeah, $120 raised out of 100. Can someone clap for Zaya? Thank you very much. The goal has been completed for Churla. I overshot it by a little whoopsies. It's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for applauding. Thank you, Saya36, for completing my charity goal for Churla. Now, if you excuse me, the reason why, I wanted to donate for Churla, because of the recent ICE murders. But I think more than ever, I feel Palestine still needs... Palestine and Lebanon, chat. Maybe I should... I still need to figure out what Lebanese charity I can donate to. But I heard that Doctors Without Borders is a good donation. But the PCRF helps Palestinians, and I'm assuming they also help Lebanese people. So I'm going to change my new dono goal to, and I'm going to change it right now. You're going to see me change it right now. I'm going to fundraise for the PCRF once again. I'm going to stop the current one. Thank you so much for helping me complete this. I did not want to stop the Churla fundraiser until we completed it, but we've completed it. So my community has raised $120 for Churla. Let's do a new fundraiser. The next goal is what, $400, I believe. Let me see. We've completed our 333 goal for Palestine. So The new fundraiser goal is $400 now, chat. Every time we complete a fundraiser, I add an extra $100 to the goal. PCRF. Wait, what? This doesn't look... Wait a second. Give me a sec. Okay, it popped out. I was about to freak out. I thought they removed it. Let me look. Let me put Lebanon for now. I want to see the charities here that they have. Lebanon Rescue Mission, International Christian Foundation for Security, Humane Development in Lebanon and Middle East. Ice hockey. I heard Doctors Without Borders is good. It's because I'm scared, chat. Sometimes you gotta investigate where you're donating to. Right now, I'm pretty sure the PCRF helps more than just Palestinian children. So I'm going to create another fundraiser for the PCRF. The goal amount this time is $400. $100 more than our last goal. And I'm going to save the fundraiser. And I am now going to start the fundraiser right now. Yes, start fundraiser. Oop. There we go. New fundraiser goal. Charity goal started $400 for the PCRF. Once again, thank you, Zaya36, for helping me complete my Churla donation goal. We raised $120 for Churla, but we're immediately going back to the PCRF, the Palestinian Children Relief Fund, where they provide aid for Palestinian children, and I'm going to safely assume that also for Lebanese children as well. And the new goal is $400. This time, $100 more than our last charity goal. If you'd like to donate, press on the subscribe button, but instead of subscribing, donate to charity. Okay, gracias, gozaimasu. I'm going to also turn on my Palestine alerts. Let me edit my alerts here, because back then the Palestinian alerts were working, but for the wrong charity. So now I can turn those on again. Charity donation right here. There we go. I turned them on for you. Thank you again for those who have donated. Okay. Now, the flotilla boats are still going. And they're asking us for you guys to keep an eye on them and on Palestine, and to ask your governments for justice to release Thiago and Saif, and to also to protect these people trying to send humanitarian aid to Palestine. Okay? Now, this is an update. When I started stream, this is an update as of 2 hours from when I started stream. How long have I been streaming? So I've been streaming almost for 2 hours. So technically speaking, this is an update as of 4 hours ago. Let's look at that update. Once again, I pressed on the wrong tab. My bad. This is an update as of 4 hours ago on Thiago and Saif. And this is from the Global Summit Flotilla. It says, the Zionist regime has once again, chat, once again, extended the illegal detention of our friends Saif Abu Kishik and Thiago Avila. Our organizers have been illegally kidnapped in international waters, subjected to beatings and torture in Greek territorial waters, and forcibly brought against their will to occupied Palestine, where they have been subjected to interrogations, death threats, sleep deprivation, and medical neglect. We urge the international community and their representatives to immediately take action for the safety and freedom of Saif and Thiago, the freedom of all Palestinian hostages, and the end of Israel's illegal siege of Gaza and its genocide. Free them all. And this is court images again. So alert, as of May 5th, and I'm assuming 4 hours ago, Saif and Thiago's illegal detention has been extended to Sunday, May 10th, with no official charges. They're illegally detaining them for basically another fucking week. Let me repost this. Ay, ay, ay. So they're extending their torture, basically. Last time we saw that it was 2 days. Now they're extending it till the 10th. This is Saif. He's smiling for us. Brave man. And this is Thiago. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my notice. Ay, ay, ay. So here's what you can do, okay? I said it earlier, but this is from the official Global Summit Flotilla account. What they're asking us to do and what we can do. Urgent email action. Israel intercepted and brutalized our flotilla activists in European waters. In the Greek Tsar Zone, 2 of them, Swedish-Spanish Palestinian Saif Abu Kashik and Brazilian Thiago Avila, were illegally abducted to occupied Palestine and remain in Israeli custody. Use the @newscord.org action campaign to pressure the Spanish, Swedish, Brazilian, and Greek governments to act. Follow the link in bio at newscord.org or visit gsummitlink.link/ACT. So let's look at this actually. Get the full picture. Newscord. I'm gonna follow this. Our app is a new way to consume the news, completely transparent with hidden agendas unraveled. I guess this is the link here. Action, correct Golder screen media misinformation. Action. Global Summit Flotilla humanitarians kidnapped. We press on that, I assume. Israel kidnapped Saif Abu Kashik and Thiago Avila from international waters. Saif is reportedly being tortured as we speak. Israel took 2 humanitarians, a Swedish, Spanish, Palestinian, and Brazilian, from international waters in the Greek Tsar Zone to occupied Palestine. The other 173 crew were released to Greece. Demand Spain, Sweden, Brazil, Greece, and European Parliament to act now. Over 3,000 people have acted. Every email costs us money to deliver. So email Spain, Sweden, Brazil, Greece, and the European Parliament now. Enter your details below, and we'll send personalized emails in Spanish, Swedish, Portuguese, Greek, and English to the foreign ministries and to the European Parliament's Human Rights and Foreign Affairs Committees, demanding proof of life, consular access, and immediate return of Saif Abu Kashik and Thiago Avila. And this is, we can view the email template actually. En español, urgente Saif Abu Kashik, ciudadano español secuestrado por Israel desde aguas internacionales y según informes sometido a tortura. España debe de actuar ahora. And this is the whole email of it. Atentamente, and you put your name on the bottom here. Okay. You verify your email, and then you send all of this. You put your full name. You don't have to. I wouldn't put my full name. I'll just put my main name, what your occupation is. Again, your address is optional, but you can still demand these governments, Spain, Sweden, Brazil, Greece, and Europe, to to do the right thing. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and paste it in chat for you guys. I'm gonna paste it here. It's not working, of course. I'll just go to my Twitch chat itself. Here you go, guys. Be safe. I would just put your first name or initial. Or here. Demand action now for the safety of Thiago and Saif. Just so you guys can have more context here. I'm gonna pin this as well until my stream ends. I'm going to copy this and also pin it to my YouTube chat. Replace pinned message. Okay, so there's something here that you guys can do. This is from the official Global Summit Flotilla account. This is what they're asking for us to do. I give you the direct link to be able to send the emails to all of these governments and demand Thiago and Saif to be released and safe from the illegal detention that they're in Israeli prisons. Okay, and we are now at the end of the stream. I will send the emails after stream myself. And these are my words for now. The Global Summit Flotilla mission will continue, but we also must demand the release of Thiago and Saif. Do not stay quiet. They are at risk of death. I will continue to do my best to stay updated on the situation. But we cannot allow Israel to kill activists, civilians, journalists, and anyone else they seem as an enemy from around the world who are helping inspire many to mobilize for Palestine. Please pay attention. Palestine is dying, and we cannot allow more people to die. Okay, guys? And so, that is my final words for now, for this stream. I will see you guys again for TamaTalks Thursdays. There won't be a stream tomorrow, but there will be another stream at 11 p.m. JST on Thursday. And I will, obviously, I'll give you updates of what has happened so far to Thiago and Saif. And I also want to talk about the slain journalists in Palestine and Lebanon and all over the world. Because recently I believe May 3rd was Journalist Day, something like that. And so I want to remember all the journalists that were killed by Israel. And I'll do a quick review on as much as I can. I do want to talk about the recent Lebanese journalist that was murdered by Israel as well. But that's what I'm going to talk about on Thursday. Updates on Thiago and Saif, and also a remembrance stream to remember all the journalists and all the journalists that were killed by Israel and the United States of America. Okay, let me read my chat. I'm so sorry, I was talking a lot. Oh, hello, Snell. Sorry about that. I didn't see you there. Let me see. If you can't donate or protest in person, writing demands to your country's officials is also good. Oh, thank you for saying that, Snell. I didn't even read that. That would have been a good transition to like the final statement of asking people to send emails to their governments. Thank you, Snell. My bad for not reading that earlier. let's see. Oh wait, but I read Zaya? I'm sorry. I read Zaya first. Oh, I wanted to give you the opportunity to put up a new charity as well. Thank you, Zaya36, once again for donating to charity. Okay, and then that's me. Sent the emails. Wow, you work fast, Snail. Thank you very much. Thank you for demanding all of these governments to release Thiago and Saif. Thank you for the stream, Tama. Bye, Tama. Great stream. Thank you, Kaizen. Thank you, Snow. And thank you for everyone else who has participated in listening and is also doing their best to send those emails. No worries, I just kind of jumped in after lurking without saying hi. Thank you very much, though. Thank you for lurking. To the lurkers, to the YouTubers who are watching this as well, to the chatters, especially. Making me feel like someone's listening to me. Thank you very much for being here. It really means a lot. Again, it's very important that we unite as people, no matter how small we are in this community. Again, my community has been able to raise over $1,000 for charity, okay? Over $1,000 for charity. And listen, with the very few viewership I have, I feel like that's a lot, chat. That's a lot. That's a good thing. That just goes to show how much a small group of people, whether it's $1 or $100, whatever, you guys are able collectively to provide for a good cause. And also, like Snell just showed us, send emails and demand change. If you can't boycott, if you can't donate, or if you're too, scared to speak up, well, you can do it through writing as well. So I know that a bunch of people, especially like I fight a lot on Twitter with idiots, and a lot of people diminish what I do and what you guys do, because one of my reasonings for a lot of things is like, hey, if I'm able to convince someone to donate a fucking $1 to charity, I'm doing a good job. I'm sorry. Okay? Most VTubers don't prioritize charity, okay? I always tell you guys to donate to charity first, and then if you want to donate to me, then donate to me, fine. But always prioritize charity. People don't do that, okay? A lot of people are fucking greedy. And a lot of people laugh at me and laugh at you guys. But it's fine. It's worth it. For me, it's worth it. So keep caring, keep donating, keep boycotting, keep protesting, whether physically or through a form of writing. And keep educating others and yourself, okay, chat? I'll see you guys on Thursday for TamaTalks Thursday at 11 p.m. JST. Well, I will give you updates on the current situation concerning Thiago and Saif. And I will also talk about the slain journalists from Palestine and Lebanon, okay? I'll see you later, alligators. Good night, and thank you for the support. Bye-bye.
今だけだから今だけ